Oh boy, man. Okay. Now look, this is not so much defending ARC or Run Wheels themselves, but just with the whole thing with Anton going around and Anton and Corey, and the Black Manosphere getting lumped in with this stuff. I was listening to Super Sly and talking about who content creators who passed away and talking about the Keisha content that the Black Manosphere be talking about, worrying about what Keisha do, you know, which is kind of silly because it's like, who cares? You don't deal with Keisha. Keisha don't bother you. I'm like, why do you care? Why are you even worried about Keisha? But he threw in ARC and Run Wheels, and I'm like, okay, so anybody who talks about dating and mating, it's Keisha content now. Because I'm trying to understand that. I'm like, so I wrote in the chat and slides thing. I said, well, ARC was not doing Keisha content. ARC never did anything, was not specifically talking about Black women. When he talked about women, he talked about women in general. He didn't specifically talk about Black women. If anything, if you know his history, he defended Black women. Now, he talked about a specific thing he did with a specific woman, but he never really said she was Black, as far as I remember. So you don't even know if he was talking about Black woman, white woman, whoever. Like, ARC dated a whole bunch of women, Black women, white women, a whole bunch of women. So his content was not specific to Black women. If anything, if you know ARC history, and Steve Dean would probably tell you that, he defended Black women against Steve Dean, who would talk shit about Black women. He was ARC has always been complimentary to Black women. Now he talked about a specific woman who was being a B, but he kept that to a specific woman. He did not trash all Black women like that. That's why I'm like, come on now, y'all lumping them in with the Manosphere, which was not happening. And Ron Wills, he don't even do that shit. He don't go at Keisha like that. When he talking about women, he talking about all women. He don't talk about Keisha and put specifically the Black women. So, it's like ARC did not die because he was doing Keisha content. ARC he was not take care of his health. That had nothing to do with Keisha. That had nothing to do with him saying anything about Keisha. He didn't take care of his health like he should have. That's Black men in general. So ARC did not die because he was doing Keisha content. Ron Wills didn't get a stroke because he was doing Keisha content. Ron Wills got a stroke because he probably wasn't taking care of his health the way he should have. And from what he was saying, that was genetic. That had nothing to do. That was something that could have been prevented. So it's like, come on now. We got to stop lumping everybody. Everybody who's doing dating content is not doing Keisha content. Everybody who was on the Manosphere slide, who was featured in the Black Manosphere, was not Keisha content. Y'all remember ARC was kind of hated over in the Black Manosphere for a bit because he wouldn't go in on Keisha. Ron Wills was hated by the Black Manosphere because he wouldn't go in on Keisha. I'm like, come on now, we gotta stop this bullshit. Look, say what you want None of these dudes was doing that stuff. That's why I'm like, come on now, Sly. That shit is you're making a reach. Now, if you want to say that, sorry about that, yo. But I'm like, this is crazy that we're lumping ARC and Ron Wills in this mess. Look, ARC passed away because he didn't take care of his health. That's a testament to a lot of men, especially black men. We don't take care of our health the way we should. Ron Wills, that was a genetic. He said that was genetic. Now I'm gonna go because I never heard him be a liar. I never heard lie about stuff. So I'm gonna believe Ron Williams when he said that was a genetic situation. Which, yes, having a stroke. I'm sorry, some of that can be genetic. That's just life. People who have blood clots and stuff like that are perfectly healthy. The shit happens. So to blame it on Keisha content that these guys didn't engage in, and when they had the opportunity to do that, they refused to do it. I'm like, come on, man. Let's not do that. I'm like, come on, man. Go look at ARC, go look at One Wheel's content, and tell me they going in on Keisha. Go ARC and One Wheel's content. Go look at that and tell me again that's Keisha content. Tell me. So unless you're talking about dating as Keisha content, are we lumping dating and mating as Keisha content? Because there's a stark difference between Keisha content, hating on Keisha, and what Rom and ARC was doing is teaching how to date. I'm like, come on, man, we gotta stop with this nonsense. And I hate to be. I'm not a defender of these guys in the sense of, but I'm defending, especially ARC. He's not here. He passed away. Yes, he left his wife in a bad situation. But come on, bro. That's not due to no Keisha content. That's just him not being bright. You know, that's what men do. Some men do that. Hell, my dad, we didn't even know he had a fucking will. We had to find that shit. He didn't tell nobody. He didn't even tell my cousin who he left the will to. That's black men. That has nothing to do with Keisha. You know, I think we take this whole thing when we talk about all these people who've been part of the Manosphere, even adjacent, and we're trying to lump them in with Keisha content. And when we know Ron Wills didn't do Keisha content like that, ARC didn't do Keisha content like that. I mean, come on, man. This is ridiculous. And we you know, come on. And this is where it muddies the water. Listen, if you want to criticize the Black Manosphere, go ahead. If you want to criticize like the Antons of the world, this hypocritical bullshit he trying to pull. Oh, they talk about my wife because she dark skinned. Bullshit. They talking about your wife because she dealing with you because you just a piece of shit. Corey went after your wife and daughter because you were a piece of shit, and you kept picking at him. So he said, you know what? I'm gonna go after your wife and daughter. He was wrong for that, but don't sit up here and try to say that that's why he went because she dark skinned. Nobody. People are not going after your wife because they dark skinned. People going after your wife because of you. You're a piece of shit who has been dogging out black women on your little peep network for fucking years. And now when somebody went after your daughter, and this is not the first time they went after this dog. Remember Yanni? She put him on the thumbnail of her video criticizing Anton. Well, she was wrong to do that too. She was wrong for that. But at the same time, so if you're trying to compare even Anton's content to ARC and Run Wills, it's not even it's night and day. ARC would never go in on black women. Run Wills would never go in on black women. Never. Show me the video where ARC was going in on black women. Show me the video where Ron Wills is going in on black women. You will never see that shit. I guarantee you that. And if you have it, please show me. You leave a comment in this video and show me that. And I can look at it. But from what my recollection, they have never done it. They just get lumped in with the whole thing with the Obsidians, the Angry Man, the Mr. Fantastical world, because again, they were all under O'Shea. Which hell, Max City Lemons will be more of a Keisha content than ARC and Ron Wills will never be. And they weren't even going in there. Well, you know what, they did go in hard on the women. But at least they went in, when they went in hard on them, they went on hard on them and the men. They had smoke for everybody, like I do. I have smoke for all these people, all these different groups. I don't leave it to black women. I don't leave it to black men. I leave it to everybody. All of them fucked up. All of them are fucked up, man. It's not even a contest. This back and forth, who worse? There ain't no worse. Because if you still dating each other, there is no worse. If black women were that much better, you wouldn't be dealing with some of these black men that they deal with. Same with the black men. You saying, yeah, oh, we better than the black women. You wouldn't be dealing with the Keishas. Y'all deal with the worst of the worst. Both of y'all deal with the worst of the worst. And it has nothing to do because that's all there is. No, that's what you're attracted to. That's what you are attracted to. Keep it a buck. You're attracted to each other. There is no such thing as this loyalty. It's attraction. That's who get your dick hard. That's what get your pussy wet. And y'all know it is what it is. That's why the interracial dating is not going up. It hasn't increased. Especially when you're talking about the diverse society. It has not increased. Because at the end of the day, you are who you're attracted to. It has nothing to do with this loyalty. It's attraction. But again, before I go down that rabbit hole, ARC and Ron Wills do not do Keisha content. They will run from that shit. They will jump away from that shit faster than the. They will defend black women when necessary. I've seen ARC do it. I've seen Ron Wills do it. But to come up here saying they doing Keisha content, that is insane. And that's why ARC died. I'm like, that's out of pocket. Because you know he didn't do no Keisha content. Show me the video where he went in specifically on black women. And I will show you that show me that video. It don't exist. He don't go in on black women. If he talking about women, he talking about women in general. All he does, women in general. All those books he wrote, the Mo one, that's for women in general. Is not centered on black women. Hell, most of his clients, he would tell you, most of his clients not even black. ARC got the most pushback from black men. If you want to be, because he wouldn't go hard in the paint against black women. Y'all remember that shit? Y'all talking about? I still remember when he said he was getting married. Boy, I mean, they were begging and pleading this man, don't do it. And he's like, yeah, I know all the stuff. I know what I wrote. I'm still getting married. I'm like, where's the Keisha content? And he got married to a black woman. At the time, what was she, 27? How he gonna do Keisha? How you gonna say he did Keisha content and he married a black woman? And he seemed like the happiest dude out of all of that. Make it make sense. I'm like, well, what are y'all talking about? ARC did not pass away because he was doing Keisha content. Ron Wills did not have a stroke because he had doing Keisha content. Name the Keisha content they were doing. Show it to me. And then I'll be like, you know what, you're right. Other than that, I ain't seen no Keisha content. Are you talking about dating? Is dating Keisha content now? Because I'm trying to understand, what is Keisha content? What is Keisha content? Because in my memory, you're specifically talking about Keisha, which is supposed to be the worst of the worst black women. Name the video that ARC and Ron Wills were doing, talking about the worst of the worst black women. We're just going in, talking about their hair, talking about their nails, talking about they fake eyelashes, talking about the kids they got. They too fat. They not fat enough. They got baby daddies everywhere. Where is that content at? Where is that content? You're not going to see that content. ARC wouldn't even go that route. He defended black women against Steve the Dean. Steve the Dean would tell you that. Ron Wills would defend black women against these goofballs. I've seen him do that on video. So this notion of this, they're doing Keisha content. That's why ARC died. That's why Ron Wills had a stroke. Is bullshit. If you're talking about dating, they talked about dating. What to look out for, who they dealing with, but he talking about women in general. If that's considered Keisha content, then well, anything's Keisha content at this point. You talk good about black women, that's Keisha content. So what is Keisha content? Because in my mind is talking about the negative black women, but I guess that Keisha content that's changed now. I don't listen. And look, man, I just we gotta stop lumping people in when it's not necessary. ARC and Ron Wills did not do Keisha content. Stop lumping them in just because they had a name in the Black Manosphere. Stop lumping them in because they were over there on O'Shea. They are not Black Manosphere. They did not do the Keisha content. They were outliers, if anything. Yeah, ARC has some stories of how he did a woman, but that's a woman. He wasn't even suggesting that you do shit like that. He talking about what he did. And if you understood the story behind that, you understand why he did what he did. I didn't say I agree with what he did. I would definitely never would do that I would never do that in real life, but but he could get away with that. And it was a time that you could, where some dudes could get away with it. I know a dude I know personally who could get away with what ARC could, what the ARC did. I believe he could get away with it. I can't. I would never try that shit. I'll either get my ass whipped or I'm going to I'm gonna lose my job. I would never get away with it. But to say that they did Keisha content and that's the reason why ARC passed away, that's why Ron Wills got a stroke. I'm like, come on, Sly. That's out of pocket. You listen, you may not like the content of what they do. You might not like the whole dating stuff. I get it. But come on, man. The lump them in with what Black Manosphere doing, Keisha content, lump it in as Keisha content, that's out of pocket. And that's the reason why they ARC passed away. That was out of pocket. Why Ron Wills have a stroke, that's out of pocket. Come on, man. Yeah, you know better than this. And look, I'm not a fanboy of ARC or Warren Wills, but I've listened to their content, and unless their content has changed, but from what I've seen, their content, I mean, well, ARC definitely content never changed. He passed away, but from what I could tell, Ron Wills, I ain't heard of some crazy shit that Ron Wills have said about black women to make it be like, oh damn, he must hate them women. It's like, dude, he got 2 sons. And I ain't never heard him say going in on his ex-wife or anything like that, baby mama. So I'm like, come on, man. We gotta stop this just lumping everybody in because it kills your argument, right? Ron Mills did not get a stroke because he was talking about black women. ARC didn't die because he was talking about black women. If anything, ARC defended black women. Ron Wills defended black women. If anything, they were the 2 guys who was trying to get these dudes to get off of Keisha content. Hey, y'all need to get off the Keisha content. This ain't helping you. This ain't helping. Whatever y'all trying to do, this is not helping your case. He's like ARC. Yeah, he wrote his book about marriage, about the women dealing with, but guess what? He still got married. So what did I say? He said shit to look out for. That's not Keisha content. That's red pill content. You should watch out for your wife. You should keep an eye on her. Yes, you should know what women will about that dark sexuality with women. You do need to know that. I knew that because I in the swinger scene, I've seen that shit firsthand, so I already know what it is. That's why I don't get mad at this shit. I already seen it. I already know what it is. I've seen it at work. I've seen it in the swinger scene. I've seen it at work. So I already know what it is. That's why I don't get mad at it. It is what it is. Why get mad? Why am I get mad at Keisha? I have fun with Keisha. But I leave Keisha over there. I work with Keisha. I leave Keisha over there though. I see it. Hey Keisha, how you doing? Hey, brother Speak, how you doing? Da, 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 da. After that, when it's time for me to get off, bye Keisha. You have fun over there. Hey, bye. I'll see you tomorrow. Yep. See you tomorrow. And I'm back at my house. Keisha free. I ain't got time to worry about Keisha. I'm going in here. You don't hear me going hard in the paint on Keisha? For what? Jesus Christ. That's crazy work. I don't even go in on women that hard. Why? You don't want to deal with the Keishas? Don't. It's not that hard. But if you want to deal with different type of women, some of these dudes need to change up. If you already going you're going out the country. This is why the passport bros killing themselves. Worrying about Keisha. We got a stunt on Keisha. I'm like, who the fuck cares? No, if I got me a Maylene or a Maria, I don't give a fuck about what Keisha talk about. Don't care. Let Keisha do what she do. Let her get whoever. Mind my own damn business. What about Keisha? That's crazy. But yeah, let me get up out of here. I gotta get dressed. I gotta go to work. It's freezing cold, and I gotta go to work. The life of a worker. But yeah, in conclusion, man, the LLC run wheels lumping them in, saying that's why they had a health issues. None of that had to do with Keisha content. Now, if you want to say Kevin Samuels killed himself because of Keisha, yeah. David Carroll, yep. Chris Tyler, yep. Is Arsenio might be next, maybe. Tommy, uh, maybe. But ARC, nah. Ron Williams, no. It's like, come on, man. Don't lump them in with this other stuff. It's not it don't make sense. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.